Thanks, Stephen A. Nothing like a Stephen A. bite to start the episode. Welcome, everybody, to episode 13 of Aggressively Speaking. My name's Tony Dabrowski.
I'm Troy Frank, and I'm tired of this, man.
Welcome back to our podcast. I am already in tears, and we are seconds into the show.
I'm tired of this moo-moo wearing fuck.
I have tears
backwards
already.
hat, pencil in the ear.
It's not backwards anymore.
I don't care.
It was backwards for like the Jets game, I think.
Oh, I'm glad he finally presented himself accordingly.
Do you want to smack the symbol today?
Let's smack them both. It deserves a double smack.
All right. So, longtime viewers of the pod will know that we only like smack this when we're frustrated with the Lions. So,
and the bell. Give the bell a ring too.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Troy, how are you this week? As if I don't know the answer. How was your Sunday?
My Sunday was pretty good after I turned off that game.
Oh my God almighty. All right, so yeah, Troy, we have a lot to talk about this week. So obviously we'll start with the Lions in a little bit here. But after that, we will talk a little Tigers because yeah, Gardy retired this past weekend.
Because one manager in this town actually left.
Gardy,
but it was the wrong one.
Well, we'll talk.
Manager, coach, whatever.
Well, we'll talk about that later in the show here. So yeah, we'll talk about the Tigers and Ron Gardenhire retiring. We'll mention a few possible candidates for the next manager job with them because there are a few candidates that we're going to mention in this episode that I'm really curious to get your thoughts on, kind of as a not a casual baseball fan, but you're like,
I'm pretty casual.
All right,
I'll call it that.
All right, I didn't want to call you a casual baseball fan.
It's
but
casual because I mean, like, it's fun when your home team's like got something to play for. When you're just watching for the love of the game, baseball's pretty tough. I'll admit it. I'm trying. I'm trying.
I know you are. No, I'm not huffing and puffing at you.
It's baseball, man. They just they can't grip me.
I'm decked out in my Tiger gear today, though.
Oh, I mean,
do you like this shirt?
Let me see. Give me a spin. Well, not a full spin, but like a half spin. Show me the full shirt. Okay, that's not bad. Oh, ESPN liked it.
Yeah, Tony, we like the shirt.
Breaking news: we got Stephen A. reacting to Tony Dombrowski's T-shirt. No,
blasphemy. Okay,
but I dig it. It's a little simplistic, I will say. I would have appreciated if like the orange was more scattered around the shirt, but it is what it is. I like it.
I dig it.
Yeah.
It was cheap too, not terrible. Anywho, so yeah,
we're just trying to avoid.
We're just trying to avoid the Lions. What'd you do this weekend? Oh,
there's no escaping it.
What is your favorite part of going to a cider mill, Troy?
Avoiding football.
Oh my God! Do you just want to take the camera and go outside?
Toss it around like a.
Start tossing it around. John comes outside. We're throwing his camera in the air. He would kill us. No. Oh my God! All right, let's stop avoiding it. Let's get right into it. So yeah, we all know the story. Lions lost yesterday to the Green Bay Packers. They are now 0-2 on the season, and I mean, I hate to start this episode the way I started my radio show today and the way we started last week's show, but it's just a perfect angle to attack this at. I mean, for all the people that told us, whether it was people on Twitter or the national media, that this year was going to be different for the Lions, how do you watch those first two games and think that anything's going to be different with this football team? I mean, yesterday's game, they had such a good start, okay? The first two offensive drives, touchdown. They were moving the ball so well, 14-3 after one quarter. great start. The defense in the first quarter, it really should have been 14-7 because the Packers had a few big drops in that drive, but they held them to a field goal. I tweeted, nice job by the defense, okay? It's 14-3 after 1. We knew the Lions were going to blow it, but we're like, that's still a very, very good start. Let's see where they can take this hot start. But the only thing that was different about yesterday's game for the Lions was the fact that the collapse didn't come in the fourth quarter like usual. It came in the second quarter and the third quarter. And by the time the fourth quarter came along, Troy, the game was over. I mean, for the final 3 quarters of that football game, we all know it was all Green Bay. And this team just absolutely collapsed on both sides of the ball. You look at the defense, who, I'm sorry, Troy, wasn't Patricia supposed to be a defensive guru, rocket scientist?
Yeah, I think he even came here and said he was going to shift the defense around to fit the way he played in New England. It's almost like he came here to make this team a defensive team, but
the defense is his calling card, right?
Yeah.
And how has the defense looked while Patricia's been the head coach?
I'm pretty sure it's like bottom 5 in the league.
It's bottom 3. It's been so bad. The Lions defense yesterday, almost 500 total yards to the Packers, which the Packers have, I think, statistically the best offense in football through 2 weeks, but still, 500 total yards of offense
I think it's a little bloated because of us, but yeah.
It's ridiculous how many total yards of offense the Packers had yesterday. Rushing yards. If I can remember correctly, the Packers had 259 rushing yards yesterday. That's Madden numbers, man. That's Madden numbers. You see that stuff in college football, too.
Yeah.
Like, you see college kids rushing for, like, 200 yards a game. Not in the pros, man. Like, it's just, it's so comical to me how after yet another offseason with all the money and all the draft resources that Bob Quinn spent on the defense, the same problems with our defense are still here.
Yep.
Throughout the entire time that Patricia's been our head coach, we've had the same 2 problems on defense. Can't stop the run, can't get pressure to the quarterback. And those 2 things equal to being a very bad football team, which the Lions have obviously been since Patricia has been here. The defense is looking fantastic, while the offense yesterday, after 14 points in the first quarter, 2 drives, 2 TDs, throughout the final 3 quarters of the game, they scored 1 touchdown. And it was in the fourth quarter, if I remember correctly, and it was in garbage time, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it was another complete collapse by this football team, and now they are 0-2 on the season. It seems like another season lost after 2 games. Dating back to last year, Troy, we have lost 11 straight football games. It's approaching a full calendar year since the Lions last won a football game. The last time they won was against the Giants last year. And I think
I don't even remember that game. That's how long it's been.
I think we played them in October. I could be wrong, but it's been a long time, Troy. It's approaching a full calendar year since the Lions last won a game, and it's also 4 straight losses for this Lions team in which they have blown double-digit leads. It's just so comical how bad this team is. I mentioned this in my post-game video after the game. I'm not surprised that they lost. I'm not surprised that they got blown out. I'm just surprised how bad this team really is. Because, again, we were told by the national media and people on Twitter that this year was going to be different. But these past 2 weeks have shown everybody that what me and Troy were trying to say last year, it's the truth. This is why we didn't want either Bob Quinn or Matt Patricia back this year. Because it's 2 games into the season. And the question right now, Troy, is not if Matt Patricia should be fired. It's when is Matt Patricia going to get fired. And people have the bye week scheduled or the bye week circled as a possible date, which makes sense. You know, if the Lions are 0-4, which they very well could be, next 2 games at Arizona and at this, home against the Saints, we could be looking at 0-4 going into the bye. And if they are 0-4 going into the bye, I mean, Patricia should be fired right now, let alone the bye. But do you think the Lions would actually fire Patricia after 4 games? I personally don't think so. You're shaking your head, so I assume you agree. So let me say this before I throw it over to you because I'm talking too much. The date that I have circled on the Fire Patricia calendar is Thanksgiving. Here's my reasoning for that. If the Lions are dangerously below 500 going into Thanksgiving, which they very well could be, and they get smoked by a bad Houston Texans team, that's when I think we could see both Patricia and Quinn get launched into the sun. But the moral of the story here, as I throw it over to you, is 2 weeks through the season, I'm not stunned one bit. The only thing that shocks me is just truly how bad this football team is.
Well, let me tell you, Tony, I'm not shocked at all. Last year was atrocious. We went, what was it, 3-12-1?
Mm-hmm.
And did our roster improve since last year? I don't think it did. Honestly, I don't think it did.
I think they added a few more talented players, but
yeah, I think we have a better running staff than we did last year. I think that's the only positive. I think, adding a somewhat capable offensive lineman helped a little bit, but did our defense get any better? No, it tanked. We went
the same
full
defense.
Rebuild with the defense because now we didn't even have the all-star talent of Darius Slay covering the already atrocious backfield that we had, or the secondary. So, and we replaced him with a rookie and a guy that gets hurt immediately after stepping on grass in true font. So, did our defense get any better? No. And, by the way, a couple of the guys that they drafted or signed to come here to make the defense better, they are refusing to play.
Oh, Julian Okora.
And Tracy Walker.
Yeah. They benched him basically for Will Harris.
Yes. These two guys that they signed to make this defense at least somewhat.
They drafted Tracy Walker.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry, misspoke. But, yeah, these two guys that they brought to come here are just sitting there, and they're not using them whatsoever, despite having all these problems that these guys could at least put a dent into.
Tracy Walker is a very good player, too.
Yes.
We've seen that throughout the last 2 years that he's been in the NFL. There are some people on Twitter that they feel like this team still has the talent, but Patricia's just holding them back.
I don't see it.
I'm with you. That was going to be what I was leaning towards. I still really don't see the talent on this football team. Yes, there are talented players on the team, especially offensively. Lots of talent on that offense. Defensively, oh boy.
Yeah,
outside of Trey Flowers, I struggle to point at someone and say they're really talented. I would say Tracy Walker, but they won't. He's getting basically benched for Will Harris, who is not good.
He played probably the biggest part of yesterday's breakdown.
The 2 back-to-back penalties,
yes.
Yeah.
That literally swung the pendulum completely in the other direction. It was the launching point for the Packers to go off of. But regardless, they do not have a good defense. Regardless if those guys are playing or not, I think that team, would be lost defensively, no matter who they had out there. Even Slay, I don't think could help this defense. But they don't even have Slay. That's my point that I'm making. And now you come into this season, everybody hyped them up. I tweeted this out. I have no clue where this hype came from. It literally just stemmed out of nowhere from national media. I don't get it. I don't mean to interrupt you. Coming into this season, I've never seen the national media be so high on this football team. Never. And I don't know for what reason.
I don't know.
I guess it was just Matthew Stafford coming back from injury. But we've had a healthy Stafford before and went 4-12. What stops that?
It wasn't even him. It was people mostly saying that there's more. The people who didn't fit the culture are out. The people who are going to fit the Patriot culture are in, and it's going to be year 3 of Patricia.
Too bad the people that didn't fit the Patriot culture were the best players on the team.
Darius Slay, Quandre Diggs. Yeah, if you put them on this defense right now, they're at least 2 of your 3 best defensive
They'd probably
players.
be ranked 20th instead of 29th.
27th out of 29th. Because here's the thing with the defense, Troy. It doesn't matter who's in your secondary. I don't care if it's Slay, Okuda, whoever. If you don't have a pass rush, what are you going to expect your corners to do? You can't lock your man down for 5 to 10 seconds. It's impossible to stay with them that long. Quarterbacks have so much time in the pocket against us that they can. Aaron Rodgers literally sat there during yesterday's game and just waited for Devontae Adams to get open.
Yeah.
He waited for him, and he did. Like, people are roasting Jeff Okuda today, and
I want to speak on that after you're done there.
Did Jeff Okuda have a good game yesterday?
Not at all.
But he's a rookie, and again, what do you want the kid to do when there's no pressure on the quarterback?
I remember having this conversation with you before draft day on this podcast about Jeff Okuda and them taking him. It's like they don't have a pass rush to make him good. You need to start up front and then work your way back. I said that before they drafted him.
And I told you it's a fair point. It's absolutely a fair point.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, and look, it's coming to fruition now. He can't play because they are literally just throwing him out there on an island and expecting him to be on top of the receiver for 10 seconds.
Yes, like I can't believe people are roasting Jeff Okuda right now. Like, people are calling him a bust and everything. We should have drafted Isaiah Simmons when Isaiah Simmons...
He ain't much better.
I'm not a big pro...
I loved Isaiah Simmons personally, and I did wish they would have drafted him, but he isn't faring too much better. But I will say, that defense he's surrounded by ain't too great either.
I'm not a Pro Football Focus guy. Like, I hate when people are like, well, Pro Football Focus says this guy has a good grade this week. But
that was pretty shocking.
I'm about to use a Pro Football Focus stat right here. I don't remember the exact numbers, but...
Oh, I do.
Jeff Okuda, Isaiah Simmons, Derek Brown, they were all... Pro Football Focus-wise, really, really bad this past week. So it's not like...
And specifically, Okuda ranked 98th out of 99 corners that played this past Sunday.
But again, he's a rookie. Wow. He's a rookie playing his first game in the NFL at a position where it takes a second. And again, what do you want the kid to do? He has to hold one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in football, for 5 to 10 seconds. It's impossible. It's impossible to say, Okuda, here's your first matchup against Devontae Adams. Hold him for 10
This is your first snap of NFL football.
Oh my goodness, man. It's just ridiculous how they continue to ignore the pass rush. And that leads me to my next point about Bob Quinn, because... we also want Bob Quinn gone.
Before you continue, I didn't even address when I think Patricia will be fired.
Go ahead.
And that has everything to do with Bob Quinn. That's his boy. And if Quinn's here, he ain't getting fired. They're getting fired together. And I do not think ownership is going to do that midseason. I think ownership is way too complacent. They like these guys too much. I mean, Martha really loved Jim Caldwell. And, I mean,
it's Sheila now.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, ownership, I mean, even people are saying Sheila was basically in charge at that point, too.
I know.
But, we wanted him fired back then, and they kept him all season. I mean, it was a solid season, 9-7. But that's my point, is if they like a guy, they'll keep them, regardless of how bad they're doing. And... I said, if Patricia gets fired, Bob Quinn's going to be along with him. Oh, yeah. He's not going to be the one doing the firing.
No, they go together like chips and salsa. If one goes, the other goes.
And that's why I'm just so hesitant to say that he's going to get fired, by week Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be end of season because they don't want to fire their GM midseason.
I don't know, man. If this team continues on the path that they're on, come in a season where they came into the season with the mandate of you have to be a playoff contender. It's 2 weeks, Troy, and I can guarantee you, Charles Barkley, guaranteed, this ain't a playoff team.
No.
This is not a playoff team.
But ownership doesn't know that. They see 0-2 and still think, well, there's room to win games still, and This team could still finish 14-2 if they wanted.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I have no faith in ownership. And obviously Bob Quinn's not going to fire his boy. So I just do not think that, we're going to see a mid-season firing at all. I just don't see it.
If they stay on the path that they're on, Troy, it's going to be really hard to not make moves in the middle of a season. I mean, honestly, Troy, I was looking over their schedule yesterday.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. What are you going to say?
I was saying the only way that they get fired is if they go 0-16.
I swear to you, Troy, people are going to laugh at me for this, but please listen to me. I was looking at their schedule yesterday. Every single team they're about to play throughout the rest of the season, I legit think is better than them. I'm not saying the Lions are going to go 0-16. That's not what I'm saying. They are going to win a few football games this year.
Yeah.
I just don't know who they are going to beat. I legit don't know. Like, I was going through the schedule and going, they're better than us. They're better than us. They're definitely better than us. Jacksonville, they're better than us. Like, I don't know who they're going to beat this year.
I feel like they can sneak one from the Bears. Even though they couldn't, I feel like it's still possible.
Well, Trubisky's our daddy, so I really don't know if that's possible. Think about what I just said, though, Troy. Every team in our schedule is better than us right now.
This team was 9-7 when they took over.
Let's talk about Bob Quinn now. So, there are some people on Twitter that, again, they feel like if you replace Patricia, the talent is still there to see
marginal success.
The talent is still there for this team to maybe make a run, which I completely disagree with, but
never.
That's neither here or there. There are people who think that you can fire Patricia and keep Quinn. I completely disagree, and here's why. I will admit, before Patricia was hired, you will know I was a big Bob Quinn fan.
So was I.
I actually thought he was doing a very good job with his football team.
Yeah, because when the year Patricia, or the off season, I should say, that he took over, we were talking about how Taylor Decker was had an off season, but he was still a good. Actually, I forget if Taylor Decker was coming off his rookie year or his second year.
It was his second year.
Second
year.
He
drafted 2016.
He had that good 2016 season and then that off 2017 season. It's like, well, he proved in 2016 he can still be effective. So we thought, he had a good draft pick there. We had Kenny Galladay coming into that rookie year. I want to say
he was a rookie season. He was rookie. That was coming off his rookie year.
Okay, so yeah, he had a good rookie year. We had a good, wide receiver to look forward to. His signing of Marvin Jones, everybody loved.
We had one of the best wide receiver cores in football.
Yeah,
because we still had Showtime with us.
Yeah, and Golden Tate. Yeah, brought him in too, and it worked out for up to that point. But then it just seemed like once he had his boy in. And
it went downhill.
Yeah, everything went downhill.
It went downhill the second they brought in Patricia. And over the past few years since he hired Patricia, whether it has been the draft picks that mostly haven't worked out, whether it has been the signings that really haven't worked out, a.k.a. Jesse James, who I don't think is alive right now, whether it's been the trades that really haven't worked out, Bob Quinn has just made bad move after bad move after bad move. And yes, he has made some good moves too. But he's made a lot of bad moves. And we can't just ignore how bad this roster is. This roster is not good at all, especially defensively. The defense is a mess right now. And I think it has more to do than coaching. I don't think this roster is good at all. That's why when people said that this year is going to be different, that's why I was like, is it? I don't think this roster's very good. You're seeing all these preseason power rankings and the Lions are at the bottom. Why is that? Coaching and, the roster ain't very good.
Yeah.
That's on Patricia because it's his guys, and it's also on Quinn because he's the one trading and signing and drafting these people. This is on Quinn as much as it's on Patricia. And we just... Again, if one goes, the other goes. What is going on with your phone? Everything all right?
Yeah. Just getting spam texted, that's all.
As long as no one's in trouble, we're good.
Yeah, we're okay.
But again, if one goes, the other goes.
Mm-hmm.
This is Quinn's fault as much as it's Patricia's fault. Quinn does not deserve a second chance.
Never.
He does not deserve a second chance.
I don't think he deserves a second chance here or anywhere else.
The Patricia hire was so bad that he can't get a second chance. Like, we went from 9-7, and he said, Troy, that 9-7 wasn't good enough when he fired Caldwell, which both of us wanted Caldwell fired, okay? Let's get that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us wanted Caldwell fired, and we still believe that Caldwell should have been fired. Because 9-7 was not good enough.
Yeah, this team did need to be taken to the next level. They were kind of stagnating as a wild card / the 7th team in the conference, and it just was not good enough. We had a roster that was capable of competing in the playoffs, but it felt like the coaching just wasn't there to make it happen. He had too many late game problems, like the whole fiasco of him not calling timeouts when they needed to be called.
He just wasn't a good coach on Sunday.
No.
He's not a very good in-game manager.
No. I think he's, like I said, capable of winning games, unlike the guy we got now. It's just a matter of closing in a similar fashion the way that Patricia has now, but to a lesser degree, obviously.
9-7 was not good enough, but this is also not good enough at all.
24-1.
As comical as it is to say out loud right now, we hired Patricia, Troy, for him to take us to that next level and become a Super Bowl contender. We've gone backwards, and not just backwards. Backwards with Matt Patricia. We have gone so backwards with him. It's insane. We went from 9-7 to 6-10, 3-12-1, and now we are sitting here today thinking, Jesus, are they going to win a game this year? Like, honestly, it's just.
This is I heard it on the radio too. This is the Millen era 2.0. It really is. It really is.
I can't believe we're here. We knew it was coming. That's why we didn't want them back. But here we are.
Yeah. This is the Millen era 2.0. This is 2008. This is 2008, where the team is making such drastic mistakes. But, they did end up firing Millen halfway. Or did he just leave? I forget that. I was too young to remember. Yeah. But I honestly think he resigned halfway through the season because even ownership was allowing him to stay on, and he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing? I shouldn't be here right now." Even Millen knew he screwed up that bad, and that's why ownership. Granted, it was WCF back in the day, but I don't see any change in the way they've done business since he's been passed.
That's why people want the Fords to sell the team, man.
Yeah. So same business practices, the same long leash that they give everybody for decades. I don't see them leaving at the end of the season unless they leave themselves. That's
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Of course, Patricia, he's the greatest play caller on the world. Of course he wouldn't resign.
He's got the best fourth quarter play call in NFL history, Troy. Come on.
Yeah, that's that's too low for him. He's great. He ain't going to resign.
Again, we knew it was coming, but just the fact that we are at this point, just unbelievable, man. It's just unreal. And this will lead me to our next point. I texted you last night. We're recording this on Monday, by the way. I know there was some confusion in last week's episode when we're recording this. We're recording this on Monday. It goes out on Tuesday. I texted you, Troy, yesterday on Sunday after the game. I told you I'm going to say something on this pod that's going to make you fall out of your chair.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Let me clear off the mics in case I just collapse.
Okay, you might collapse, honestly. Or maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. I might say this and you'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a pretty good barometer for how hot of a take you can really have about the Lions. My takes are pretty hot.
This isn't a hot take. A lot of people are starting to have this opinion. I'm one of them. So we all know it feels like not if, but when Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia are going to get fired, this team is going to go for another full rebuild. I mean, they have to. And if and when that happens, I'm ready to trade Matthew Stafford.
I was on board with trading Stafford last year. You are in complete like lockstep with me. I don't want Stafford here anymore. Regardless of how good he is. I know he's good, okay? I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying the dude's old. I mean, he's 30.
He's not a dinosaur.
He's not a dinosaur. He's not Tom Brady, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
he's not
you know,
old.
he's not.
He's older. He's not old.
He's not the age that I want to go into a rebuild building around.
Yeah.
He's 33? 32?
32, 33.
Yeah.
He's in his 13. He's going to be in his 13th year.
You start a rebuild, and then what? You're good when he's 35, 36?
Yeah, you can't do that.
No. Yeah, you can't do that at all.
Like, I don't want to move off of Stafford when we start an inevitable rebuild because he's bad. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just, if you get a new GM and a new coach in here and they want to blow this thing up, which they should, do you really want to build this thing around a 13-year veteran quarterback?
No.
I wouldn't.
No.
I would look to move off him and try to start fresh. New coach, new GM, new QB. Just fresh slate. That's what I want to do.
You want the perfect example
Go
of what would happen if you try and rebuild around a mid-30s quarterback?
Please tell me.
The New York Giants.
Eli
Manning. Granted, Eli has had more success than Stafford has, but I will say Stafford's a better quarterback. But here's where the similarities start happening. You got a guy making ungodly money at 33,
it's not
34.
Ungodly.
He makes up like 1/3 of the salary cap.
Yes, but when you look at other quarterback contracts today, it's really cheap.
I mean, he got paid a few years ago, so obviously in comparison to the money they're making now, it's not much. But I mean, it's still a lot of money.
No, it's a good payday. Yeah.
So I mean, you're giving this money to a guy that's 34. He does have an injury history now.
Unfortunately,
so you're taking that risk throwing him out there when we're bad, and now you're trying to rebuild around that. When he has that much money, you can't put as much money into free agents as you'd like, and now you're always taking that risk of throwing him out there, and he's only going to give you so much. There's no potential. We've squeezed all the potential out of him. He is now at his peak, if not falling off his peak at this very moment. There's not much more you can ask from Stafford at this point. With a rookie quarterback, regardless if you think he's going to be better than Stafford or not, there's potential there. And there's potential with the team rebuilding. You got to work with the potential. You can't just, put an old rusty flag in the ground and say, all right, we're going to build a city around this. That flag's going to be gone and withered by the time that city's there. But you're still going to be paying that flag the whole time.
I'm one of the biggest Matthew Stafford defenders on this planet. I mean, I will defend that man till the day I die. I will go to my grave, hopefully 100 years from now, and I'll be like, Stafford, it wasn't his fault. And then I'll just keel over, okay? Yeah. Again, I'm not saying I'm ready to move off of him because he's the problem. He's not the problem.
He's not.
I'm just in favor of a clean, fresh start. Again, new GM, new coach, new quarterback. Just a clean slate. Because, again, if you hire a new GM and a new coach, do you honestly expect them to rebuild around a 13-year quarterback? No, man. I don't think that makes sense.
Does the Giants analogy work for you? Like, I mean,
makes sense.
What is your thoughts on that? Like, that's
what I am basically trying to say right now. Like, I just don't think it makes sense to get a new coach and a new GM in here and say we have to rebuild this thing. We have to get these Patriot guys out of here. And we're going to rebuild around a, 33, 34-year-old quarterback. No, I just don't think that makes sense, man. Yeah. And plus, again, I love Matthew Stafford. It's going to be sad when we trade him, if and when we trade him, because we will remember his time here as him being an incredible talent that the Lions failed. He didn't fail us.
No.
We failed him. Besides 1 year when they actually gave him a defense, it's been one thing every year. The defense blows. There's no run game. It's just.
But ironically, what's funny is that 1 year where we had a top 3 defense in the league is the 1 year where they said, Stafford, stop throwing the ball. We're gonna try and run this. We're gonna try and run the hell out of Kevin Smith. Or whoever the hell was our running back then.
Kevin Smith?
Mikel LaSure. I think that was our number 1 back at the time.
I'd rather not talk about the Dallas game.
But I'm just saying, the 1 year where we had a good defense, Stafford was basically locked up in jail for the entire season.
Outside of 1 year, the Lions have not given him the proper tools to win. Stafford... He needs to play perfect every game for us to have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's asinine. He's going to make mistakes. Every quarterback does, unless your name's Patrick Mahomes or Lamar
Even Patrick
Jackson.
Mahomes had like 6 interceptions last year. So
every quarterback makes mistakes, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes or you're Jared Goff. Like, you're going to make mistakes. And Stafford needs to play perfect for us to have a chance. And that's just... It's ridiculous, man.
It's unrealistic.
Like, if this team goes into a rebuild, just please let him go win somewhere, man. Send him to Vegas. John Gruden loves him some Matthew Stafford.
He loves the turkey hole.
He loves the turkey hole.
Yeah.
He's mentioned before, I don't think the relationship is good with Gruden and Carr, so the Raiders are going to be ready to win next year. Give him that veteran quarterback. Let's go. Go Raiders, baby.
Yeah. Brand new stadium.
That thing looks sexy. Monday Night Football is tonight, so by the time this is up, Monday Night Football will obviously be over, but...
Yeah, you'll have your first taste of the stadium by the time you see this.
It's juicy.
Oh.
It's Matthew Stafford's going to look...
Jet black seats.
Matthew Stafford's going to look great in Vegas, man.
Matthew Stafford looked great in a black jersey. Looking at you, Lions, getting rid of those black jerseys. What the hell?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Which one, Color Rush or non-Color Rush?
Regardless, either one.
Both of them, yeah. That Color Rush was nice. I can't believe they didn't wear that in one game.
Yeah.
One game.
Yeah, you don't have black as a primary, team color anymore, but black looks good on any color. You can match any color with black and it'll look good.
This team can't get their jerseys right, and they can't get anything else right either.
Just get rid of the blue. Let's go to something else. Let's tear it all down.
People have thrown this theory out there. It's actually kind of funny. Just rebrand. Get rid of the Lions. Get rid of Honolulu Blue. Just complete rebrand. Start over.
They'll never get rid of the Honolulu Blue and
They're
silver.
never changing the Lions name.
That's too Ford. The blue and silver is too Ford of them. They're not going to get rid of that.
They're not changing the Lions name.
No.
It's just a funny joke that's out there, but it is kind of funny to me.
I mean, a new color scheme would look pretty sweet. Like, imagine, like, the red shirts that they wear for the practice. That looks pretty nice with their the jersey design.
Make the colors purple and orange. I don't care, dude. Like,
let's go full Lakers, purple and gold. That's actually not bad because, like, King of the Jungle, purple and gold, that's royalty.
Speaking of the Lakers, though, hey now.
Hey.
You see that AD game winner last night?
Yeah, 2 nights ago for them. Yeah,
2 nights ago?
That was beautiful.
2-0 on the Nuggets, baby. I like it.
How dare LeBron stand in one spot, drawing attention away from AD so he can make the shot. LeBron's not clutch.
I called a KCP game winner. Unfortunately, that didn't come true, but...
You're just a Pistons homer, that's all.
Pay KCP, baby. But yeah, anyway, to wrap up the Lions talk, so obviously they're 0-2, 11-game losing streak. Next up, they got to go to Arizona this Sunday and play a 2-0 Cardinals team that is looking...
Drake and everybody. Like, you had to face Aaron Jones, who's a top 5 back. Now you got to face Kenyon Drake, who's a top 5 back. This is going to be
Kenyon Drake's a top 5 back?
In my opinion, I think so.
Oh, my. I don't know about that one. Maybe in fantasy. He will be this Sunday.
I think you have, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins drawing away attention. I think that allows for Kenyon Drake to really just ravage that defense.
I don't know. Kyler Murray's going to absolutely destroy us, dude. Dude, Kyler Murray, this Cardinals team is so sexy, man. Kyler Murray.
But the Lions
he is
are
looking
the Cardinals. There was the San Francisco comparison, and then there was the Arizona comparison that everybody was making at the exact same time. And it's like back-to-back weeks, I'm comparing them. And it's like, you see how that was so ridiculous before, really coming to fruition now.
We got to play the Cardinals this Sunday. 2-0. They're looking sexy. Kyler looks like that second-year quarterback that's going to become an MVP candidate. That'll be fun. The week after that, at home against the Saints.
You better believe I'm starting Kenyon and Kyler.
Are they on your fantasy team?
Yeah.
I am going to start Drew Brees this week. And I'm going to start in week 4.
You better start him week 4.
I'm definitely starting Drew Brees week 4, man. Can't wait to be back here next week talk about the 0-3 Lions.
I love how every Lions topic ends with just a long, drawn-out sigh. Just as, like, it takes all the energy.
There's a clown nose.
Optimism.
There's a clown nose down there. You want to grab
There's
it?
a clown photo up here.
That's a clown photo.
Yeah, it's Matt Patricia calling plays. We got a picture of him right up there.
Is that Quinn?
Yep. It's a little wacky. That does look like the same muumuu he wears every year. Sorry for you guys to see. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't think they can see, but there's a clown picture right here.
He's wearing like that.
We
big...
have it just for the Lions. That's why it's there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. The Tigers.
Oh yeah, they lost a coach this weekend.
Yeah, both the Lions and Tigers will be looking for a new coach this offseason. So, yeah, Gardy retired this past weekend. Very sudden.
We were talking about it last weekend too, about possibly moving on from Gardy when the rebuild's over. So
here's why I wasn't shocked to see that Gardy retired. Again, I wasn't shocked to see that Gardy retired. I mean, once again, we were expecting to part ways at the end of the offseason. His contract was up. He's getting older. I just didn't think that he was going to want to come back. And he didn't want to come back. Gardy mentioned in his press conference on Saturday that he was planning to retire at the end of the offseason anyway. But the thing that shocked me was that it was effective today.
Season's not even completely over yet.
Yeah, we got 1 week left. 1 week left, and he left on Saturday. That's the part that shocked me. And the reason why it was effective today, that's the sad part, you know, because he mentioned there. Look at this. That's a spider. Look,
oh, shit.
There's a spider crawling right there. Get out of here. Get out. It's disgusting.
Okay. We're in a basement, so I mean it's bound to happen at least once.
We are recording in John's basement. This podcast is off the rails today. What's new?
The Lions did this to us. Man.
The Lions did this to us. So again, I wasn't shocked to see the Gardy retired. The thing that shocked me was that it was effective today. And again, the sad part is why he retired on Saturday. He mentioned health concerns. I saw an article, I think it was from The Athletic today, mentioning how he was afraid that he was going to have a heart attack. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's sounded very, very scary. And, I just hope he gets right. Obviously we wish the best for him and his health and his family, because, I mean, that's scary, man.
Yeah.
It just seemed like he was tired when he was talking during his press conference. He seemed tired, seemed drained, and you really did believe that he was dealing with a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it probably doesn't help the fact that this team doesn't win.
Yeah.
Having to go to work every day and just having to accept
answer the same
67%
questions.
losses. That's
Answer the same questions every day.
It doesn't help the situation at all.
No, it doesn't. And again, obviously we wish him the best going forward. Hopefully now that he's in retirement, he can get right, get healthy, spend some time with the grandkids and the rest of the family. And when you look back at Gardy as the Tigers manager, I mean, I wanted the Tigers to hire Gardy after we fired Brad Ausmus, and the reason for that is because I thought that he would be a perfect fit for this team because he was going to be that veteran manager to lead this young, bad team through a lot of losing. Like, I felt like he was the perfect guy for this job. And listen, there was a lot of losing over the past 2 years. There's no denying that. But I think Gardy, he did what he was brought here to do. You know, we lost a lot of baseball games, but as Pat Caputo said on Fox 2 the other day, he was trying to cook a meal with no ingredients. I mean, the losing was not his fault.
You
know?
sure that wasn't about Patricia? Hey-o.
Ew. But no, I mean, obviously the losing's not on Gardy. He did his job every day with class, with dignity, with respect for the game. I thought he did a good job adapting to how analytical baseball is today. Like, you really can't complain with what Gardy did here in his few years as our manager.
Yeah.
And mostly for his time with the Twins, he'll go down as a very good manager in Major League Baseball. But, you know, Gardy is just someone who I'm glad is a part of the Detroit Tiger family.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that is he's genuinely a very nice man.
Yeah.
Like, he's someone who I wish I could have met. Like, that's how nice he seems.
Like, you got to be pretty nice for, like, you to have a great career in coaching successful baseball teams to come in and want to work with young guys in a rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're putting your coaching record at stake here by, you know, coming in and, you know, knowing that you're going to lose, but you're just trying to make this team better for the future. That's pretty high and mighty for sure.
We brought Gardy here not to bring us out of the rebuild, but to get us through the rebuild. And again, I think he's done a good job doing that. You know, there's not a lot that you could complain with Gardy here over the past 2 years.
Yeah. No, it was like, you know, he was.
Like he was the perfect fit.
He was the perfect fit. He was exactly what, you know, a team full of young guys definitely needed to work through some very tough times.
And this is another thing that we have to give Gardy credit for. Obviously, last year was bad. Like, bad. 9 times out of 10, they got blown out last year. But you know what? Every single day, the Tigers got up the next day. They just played ball.
Yep.
Even though the day before they probably got blown out, Gardy, they never quit on him. They could have easily said, you know what, we've lost 100 games and it's like, you know, August or whatever. I'm checking out. I'm done.
Yeah.
They never did that. They never did that. And that does speak to Gardy. You know,
yeah, he always had control of the locker room. Like before, like when you go back to the Ausmus Tigers and how, like, loose and how much, like, the players would just fire off at, like, the media and the fans and everything else. He just seemed to have everything. He seemed to have everything very, you know, mellow and cool and laid back, despite, you know, always being questioned about their losing and everything else. You know, these players dealt with the media a way that Brad Ausmus could never have them do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you got to applaud him for that, too, you know, making us feel good about having these guys on our team for once.
Yeah. And I will say this, too. One of the reasons why I was fine with Gardy retiring is because... Hi, John. Welcome back.
I thought this was like...
You want to grab a mic and start talking?
Yeah, give me 30 minutes.
But one of the reasons why I was fine moving off Gardy, if you will, is because, again, he was brought here to pull us through the rebuild, not bring us out of it.
Yeah.
We saw this year the Tigers actually win baseball games and be competitive and be in the playoff race for a while. And I think this year proved to you that Gardy really wasn't going to be that guy to take us out of the rebuild, as if you didn't know that already. I mean, again, when I came into this 60-game season for the Tigers, I said in my expectations video, they're going to be bad, but as long as they have a good...
They give us some fun games.
If they can be a good watch for a couple of weeks, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Troy, they were in the playoff race until a couple weeks ago. Like, they were actually really fun to watch this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give a lot of credit to Gardy for that too. But I will also say this. Again, I just think this year showed you that Gardy wasn't going to be the guy to lead us out of this rebuild, which is fine. That's not what he was brought here to do again. So because of that reason, I was fine moving off at the end of the year.
I was kind of looking forward to, like, you know, if this team gets to like a 500 type, you know, competence, that, you know, give him a shot. Let's see if he can make like a real push. But
he was never coming back.
Yeah, he just didn't have the energy for it. But, you know, in a perfect world, I would have given him that opportunity.
He deserved to come back next year, but again, he was going to retire at the end of the year, and it's just unfortunate that he had to go out this way. Like, obviously, we would have liked to see him finish out the year. Like, that's what I thought that press conference was going to be on Saturday. I thought, when I saw the tweet that Al Avila and Ron Gardenhire were holding an emergency presser at 5, I'm like, Gardy's retiring at the end of the year. Like, that's what I thought. At the end of the year. I know he was retiring that day. And that's the part that's kind of unfortunate. You know, he couldn't make it to the end of the year. That's just... I feel bad for him. I actually feel bad for him because, again, he seems like a very nice guy. And, again, he's someone who I am really proud to have as a member of the Detroit Tigers family. So that book closes. We look towards another chapter in Detroit Tigers history, if you will, because we got to look for a new manager now. And Troy, make no doubt about it, this is going to be the biggest decision that Al Avila makes in his time as Detroit Tigers GM.
100%.
This is a ginormous hire. Because you look at where the Tigers are at in their rebuild right now. They are still so far away, okay? They are still a couple years away from being a year away, okay? They're still far.
So they're where the Lions have been for the past, like, 60 years.
No, I'll make a baseball comparison here. I think they are the 2017 Chicago White Sox. Like, the pieces are there in the farm system.
Or they brought up Jose Abreu during his rookie year and like that era.
Like, you're seeing the pieces, but they're just a few years away from being the 2020 Chicago White Sox, okay? That's my comparison. That's
a good comparison.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're still a few years away from being a year away. But obviously we saw Casey Mize this year. We saw Tarek Skubal. We would have saw Matt Manning if he didn't die. We're going to see Torque, if not next year, the year after for sure.
I don't know, the way the Tigers like to play with service time, I don't even know if we'll see him then.
No, he'll be here at least by 2022.
What gives you that confidence?
He's going to start the year probably in Double-A next year.
Well, yeah, I mean next year, but
he's going to fly through the minors, man.
You think so?
Oh God, yeah. That's why I wanted him at number 1.
Yeah, I have no doubt that he is, you know, gonna kill it in the minors. But I just, like I said, I don't know if the Tigers are gonna be willing to bring him up just so that they have an extra year.
Tigers Twitter forced them to call up Casey Mize.
You think so?
Oh God, yeah. We had hashtag free Casey Mize trending numerous times throughout the season, and they eventually called him up.
Like, if next year we get a little bit better than this year, if, you know, maybe we're flirting around like 500 to start the season, if we're going to be like...
I don't think we're going to be good next year.
Bring Torque up.
Nah, we're not going to be good next year. Again, we're still a few years away from being a year away, which is fine. That's fine. That's where the Tigers are at in their rebuild. But where I was trying to go at, Troy, is the Tigers, why this hire is so important is because whether or not you want to find the guy is out there in AJ Hinch. He might very well be out there for the Tigers.
That's a risky proposition there. I mean,
that's why I want to bring this up, because John Morosi tweeted on Sunday, that the Tigers are going to have interest in several different candidates. And he mentioned names like Marcus Timms, former Tiger, Country Strong. You remember him?
I think so.
Marcus Timms, New York Yankees hitting coach. He's out there. You got the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, I remember Marcus.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
He's going to get, apparently he's getting interest for the Tigers' managerial vacancy. You have the Cubs third base coach, the Royals first base and third base coach.
Your favorite?
We have the Rockies bench coach. We'll talk about Don Kelly in a second here. But when you look at the list of candidates that John Morosi talked about, the best manager out of that list is without question AJ Hinch. World Series champion, very, very good manager, but there is one bad thing about him. He's a cheater, okay? He wasn't the mastermind behind the trash can banging in the cameras. That was Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran. But AJ Hinch still knew, and he didn't do anything about it. That's bad on his part. Absolutely. But I think AJ Hinch will get a second chance.
Yeah.
Why not here?
You know what? When it comes to AJ Hinch, I take the NFL approach in that, he might be a bad guy, but he sure knows how to play. And with AJ Hinch, he might be a bad guy, but he sure knows how to win. So,
and people have brought this up to me on Twitter, and it's fair. People have said, well, how good of a manager is he when his teams aren't cheating? That's 1,000% fair. But he was still a really, really good manager with the Astros.
And you look at it like this. He became manager for the Astros around the same period of like the Astros franchise that we are now. 2015, the Astros were garbage, and they were looking to bring themselves back into contention. That sounds pretty accurate.
I don't know when they hired AJ Hinch, but
no, I saw it on Twitter. It was 2015 to 2019 was his tenure.
Okay, so yeah, 2015 they were getting close.
Yeah,
they were getting close.
They were on their way back from, what was it, 2014 when they had the like 40 wins or whatever, something like that.
I don't know. They were bad for a while.
It was when they came over from the NL. They were really bad. But yeah.
But anywho, AJ Hinch knows how to win. And when you look at those candidates that John Morosi mentioned on Sunday, AJ Hinch is far and away the best name out there. So how would you feel if the Tigers brought in AJ Hinch? Because again, the Tigers, I think, should look for the guy. And if they do want to look for the guy that can possibly take them out of this rebuild and help Casey Mize, Tarek Skubal, and eventually Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green develop, that might be AJ Hinch. So, what are your thoughts on possibly hiring AJ Hinch? Because I'm all for it, man.
Like I said, I've given you my approach. It's the NFL approach. Like you said, these guys might be bad guys, but they can sure help your team succeed.
He's a cheater. And if the Tigers actually do it, they are going to get so much negativity on Twitter.
Oh, sure.
But guess what? I don't care. I want to win.
He knows how to develop talent.
I want to win. And again, when you look at that list of candidates, AJ Hinch might be the best name out there.
Yeah, and maybe, down the line, when the team is ready to compete, you can make another decision if you feel uncomfortable, having him as your manager. If you are Al Avila and you feel uncomfortable with having this guy, try and win a World Series, because of his history, and you feel like, oh, this guy might try to pull something again, or this guy might be a part of something, then, I mean, he at that point, I feel like he's done his job, because I feel like AJ Hinch's most, his best quality is taking a developing team and turning them into a contending team. Not even the fact that he won a World Series, because like you said, that was based on cheating. The whole cheating thing started around, what was it, 2017? The year they won, right?
It was 2017,
yeah. So he had already been there for 2 years. So in those 2 years were, restructuring years. So I feel like if you're going to hire him, those 2 years are what you hire based on. Not the World Series years, honestly.
They made the playoffs in 2015, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. And that wasn't cheating. That wasn't
at least that we don't know of.
Yeah,
but
like you said, it was Carlos Beltran. Beltran was still a player in 2015.
Yeah, it was Beltran. It was Cora. Those were the two masterminds. That's why I'm not mentioning Cora as a possibility for this Tigers team. Yeah, that's someone who probably shouldn't get a second chance. He cheated in Houston. He cheated in Boston. No, thank you. That's a capital cheater. Capital letters cheater. Carlos Beltran, all caps, cheater.
Those guys be perfect on an episode of Cheaters.
AJ Hinch knew, but he wasn't the mastermind behind it. That's why I think he'll get a second chance. And again, why not here? Because if the Tigers nail this hire, and let's say they do hire AJ Hinch, and he turns out to actually like be that one to take us out of this rebuild, dude, that's going to help us so much.
Yeah.
That's going to help us so much because we
Yeah.
need who we should be looking to hire right now. It's not some bridge guy until we find the guy. Like, we should be looking for the guy right now to develop Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal and eventually Torque and Riley Green.
Well,
Like, that's why I really like AJ
fair,
Hinch.
To be fair, a bridge guy would help you do that. That's that's what a bridge guy does.
So you want to hire Lloyd McClellan?
Talent. No.
That's a bridge guy.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Like a temporary
Yes.
full time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I thought you meant like a bridge guy, like we'll have this guy to develop the players and then this guy to win.
No. Bridge
Yeah.
guy as in Lloyd's going to hold it down for 2 years until we can find the guy.
Yeah.
No, thank you. That's my point. So, yeah, I'm all for AJ Hinch. I know it's controversial, but I'm all for him. And it seems like you are too. Now, what about this name, Troy? You mentioned him before when I was listing the name of candidates. DK, baby. The GOAT, Don Kelly. He was in the list that John Morosi mentioned as possible candidates. And Don Kelly's intriguing, man. Not just because of the fact.
Explain, because I'm not sold. So try and sell me.
So he's obviously a god with the Tigers. Okay.
Memes aside, what do you like about him? Seriously.
So he went from being a scout with the Tigers in 2017 to going to Houston and being on AJ Hinch's staff, first base, third base coach, to being the Pirates bench coach, all in a 2-3 year span. Dude, that's a big jump. To go from scout to bench coach in like 2-3 years, that's a massive jump, Troy. And, I've read a few articles from blue checkmark people on Twitter who have said that Don Kelly's a future manager in this sport. So why not here?
I feel like, I don't know.
Why not give him a shot?
Do you put the future of the franchise in a guy that's still yet unproven?
That's a good point, because people have tweeted this at me. Brad Ausmus has scared the shit out of people, and I completely get it. Brad was terrible with us. Unexperienced, first-year guy, young, analytical, and he bombed. I completely get it. But not every young, analytical, unexperienced manager is Brad Ausmus. You could hire a Brad Ausmus. You know who else you could hire? A Rocco Baldelli with Minnesota, an Aaron Boone with the Yankees, a Kevin Cash with the Rays. Not every young, analytical guy is going to be Brad Ausmus.
But I do think that you would need a team that's already competitive. Like, the Tigers were right to go that direction with a manager. I mean, they hired the wrong one. But I think the fact that this team was already World Series contending means, like, you know what? Let's take a different spin on this roster and try and win the World Series that way. I think the team was right in that instance. I don't think they were right with the hire. But I think that was the right kind of team to do it. I don't think a team that's still building pieces needs to take an unnecessary chance. I think they need to go with a guy that has proven to do it in the recent past. I feel like AJ Hinch is the guy.
No, I'm not. I'm also saying that I would hire AJ Hinch, but if they want to go in the young first year analytical way, again, not every guy you hire is going to be Brad Ausmus, because if you nail that hire, again, it's going to just be so good for this rebuild.
Yeah,
it's risky,
but there are Brad Ausmuses out there.
Every manager, young or old, has a chance to bomb, okay?
Yeah.
Patricia bombed, and we thought he was going to be the guy, okay?
Yeah, people were like, we got Sean McVay,
You had, okay, Troy, to be fair, you had that profile picture for a while.
Yeah, no, I understand my mistake, but yeah, that was the guy I wanted.
I know. Yeah.
A lot of people wanted him. We made the mistake.
I know. But my point is here that Brad Ausmus scares everybody, me too, but not every young analytical guy is going to be Brad Ausmus. And I don't think we should not hire a guy like Don Kelly just because he he could be another Brad Ausmus.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a good excuse.
And not even saying like AJ Hinch has to be the guy, or Lynch, I'm sorry. But just a guy like that, a guy that's proven, I feel like
that's fair,
is the only type of candidate for this job. I just don't like taking
at the same
that
time,
sort of chances with a roster that's still undefined. We don't know what exactly this roster is going to look like once it's ready to compete.
And that's why you do have to nail this hire again. Someone has to develop these guys. And if you think Don Kelly, who used to be a scout, can help you develop these guys, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for it, man. I mean, I obviously really like Don Kelly. I've been on the hire Don Kelly train for a year now, since he really became part of AJ Hinch's staff in Houston.
You know what? Here's the best option. Since he was on his staff, you hire AJ, then get Don Kelly as like your hitting coach.
He's not going from bench coach to hitting coach.
Okay,
that's
bench
a demotion.
Coach. Fine, bench coach.
I don't even think he would do that. Don Kelly's going to become a manager somewhere.
Assistant coach. Head assistant coach.
That's bench coach.
Okay.
Troy's still learning baseball. It's okay.
It's been 6 years. I'm rusty. Since I've been really into it.
6 years?
Since I've been really into it.
Jesus.
It's been about 3 since I've been like into it. And then just the past 3 years have been casual.
Bench coach is basically assistant coach.
Yeah. He's the Gene Lamont.
Oh God. No, thank you. That's a name I really didn't want to hear today. But yeah, I'm all for Don Kelly. And again, he's going to be a manager somewhere. Why not here? Let's see what he can do.
I just feel like, you're taking a risk on the roster.
You're taking a risk hiring any of the guys that were mentioned in John Morosie's tweet. They're all first-year guys.
Yeah.
None of them are former managers, I don't think.
Yeah. And like I said, honestly, personally, I look at that list and I just crumble it in a ball into a basket.
So who would you hire?
Just anybody that has a history of converting progressing rosters into competing rosters.
Any specific names, though?
No. I don't know the list of managers that are going to be available this offseason.
Baseball is heading towards young, analytical guys. It has been for a while now. I think Don Kelly's the man. I really do.
We'll see. We'll see who they go with. We'll see which direction they head. I feel like there's only 2 directions to go, and it's both of ours.
AJ Hinch or Don Kelly?
Yeah, or that, prototype of a manager.
There are other guys in John Morosie's list that I like. I mentioned Marcus Timms, who is very intriguing to me. It has nothing to do that he's a former Tiger, unlike Don Kelly. Marcus Timms really intrigues me because I think he could turn Torque into an absolute machine.
Yeah.
Okay. If you give Torque to Marcus Timms, who is a very, very good hitting coach, maybe the best hitting coach in baseball.
Yeah, explain.
Oh, good God.
So this is perfect because, I don't know a lot about these guys. So it'll be a perfect way for you to explain your point to both me and the audience. So why is Marcus Timms so good?
I am intrigued by Marcus Timms simply because of Spencer Torkelson. Okay. If he gets his hands on Torque, I think he could turn him, honest to God, into a 50-60 homer guy.
But why do you say that? What has he done already?
Have you seen the Yankees? Dude, they pick up guys off the street and they become 300 hitters.
You don't think it has anything to do with how small that field is, or
no? Like, they can hit, man. You look at the analytics; they have a hard hit rate. They're going to all fields. They're doing more than just hitting bombs. Like, they're getting doubles, singles, triples. Like, they're getting on base. The analytical numbers are good. Like, the Yankees are picking dudes off the street and making them stars. Gio Urshela, Luke Voigt, like, just nobodies. And they're turning them into superstars, especially offensively. And Timms is intriguing.
Okay.
He's really intriguing. And again, if you give him Spencer Torkelson, that's 50, 60 homers right there.
But, I mean, I come back to the field a little bit, too, though. Because Comerica Park is known for taking guys that can hit 40 home runs and turning them into 30 home run guys.
Comerica Park is not very hitter-friendly, but as long as you don't necessarily have to hit homers to win games.
I know, but you're talking about, power and getting doubles and triples and all that. That requires you to,
well, obviously,
hit some deep balls.
Obviously, but I still think Tim's is intriguing from the standpoint of what he's done with the Yankees. Taking dudes off the street and turning them into stars with a stick.
Yeah.
I think that's intriguing. Is he my top choice? No, I just told you my top choice is. It's in no order, AJ Hinch and Don Kelly. If they hire either one of them, I'm falling out of this chair.
If you had to pick an order, like if you were the manager.
I don't really. I hate to do this, but I don't have a preference. I don't. I think both would be excellent hires. If you hire AJ Hinch, I go, he won a World Series. He's a cheater, but he won a World Series, and he's still a very good manager. Very, very good. I remember watching Houston when they were good, and this is going to sound so stupid to non-baseball fans, but it's the truth. I would be so amazed by his decisions of who to bring out of the bullpen, who to start game 1 and game 2 and stuff like that. I just think it's just so smart.
Do you think his in-game decisions would be a little hindered by the fact that pitchers got to play a full inning now?
I don't know if that's a rule just for 2020 or not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
but he's a very good in-game manager to me, and I think that says something. So that's AJ Hinch if they hired him. If they hired Don Kelly, again, I would be excited for what I just said a few minutes ago. He went from being a scout to being a bench coach in 2 to 3 years. That's a massive jump, and I think that's good for his resume. And again, I've just read too many good things about Don Kelly to not be excited. There are a lot of people around the sport who think, yeah, he's going to be a manager one day. And again, why not here? That's just my thinking. I'd rather hire.
There'd be no better feeling than a bunch of fans screaming DKB while at the ball game. Having him in the...
Dude, wouldn't that be fun? Dude, Don Kelly's our manager. Tell me that wouldn't be fun.
That would be fun.
Bro, that would sell tickets. We get to go see Don Kelly's Detroit Tigers.
Only the Detroit Tigers with Don Kelly sell tickets.
Dude, put his statue in center field right now. Let's go. I mean, honestly, would you rather hire Don Kelly or Vance Wilson?
Who? like Snoop Dogg. Who?
I didn't realize Vance Wilson was the Royals' third base coach until yesterday. And that's nothing against Vance Wilson. There are some people on Twitter that like Vance Wilson. I can't tell you if he's good or not.
He can tell when a player can run and not from the direction the ball's been hit, and the outfielder's reaction very well.
The most I know about Vance Wilson is that he tells people to stop or go. Who's another candidate I like? I'm intrigued by the Cubs' third base coach. His name is slipping me right now, but he intrigues me just because he's coming from Chicago. It's been a winning organization over the last few years.
Yeah, but at that point, it's how far does the winning really go down if you got your third base coach or first base coach from the organization as your head coach, as your manager?
I mean,
like I said, how far does the winning really go in that organization? You know what I'm saying?
Again, the name is escaping me, but the Dodgers first base coach I kind of like. Again, he's coming from the Dodgers, winning organization. Dave Roberts is obviously one of the best managers in baseball.
It's like when you see a movie and the trailer says executive producer of and a really good movie underneath. It's like...
That's somebody.
Yeah, that's a really good movie, but all the guy did was fork over money for it. It's not like he's the reason that movie was so good.
I mean, we see no names in baseball all the time become the next big thing. Rocco Baldelli, who the hell knew that he was going to be such a good manager with Minnesota?
Yeah, but at that point, you're just taking a shot in the dark with these guys, It's like...
Dude, the Yankees literally hired Aaron Boone off Monday Night Baseball. and he's a freaking good manager.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? So baseball is just so weird. All these no-namers become superstars. It's just a crazy sport. In football, you know who Eric Bieniemy is. You do know who Eric Bieniemy is, right?
I think so.
Chiefs OC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know who Greg Roman, the Baltimore OC, is. Like, you know these people. At least I hope Greg Roman's the OC in Baltimore. Check that right now for me, please. Is he the OC?
My phone's off.
Oh, crap.
I shut it off because of the messages I was getting.
Whoever the Baltimore OC is, that doesn't help my argument.
Whoever he is,
that doesn't help.
We know him.
That doesn't help my argument. You know who people are in Baltimore.
He's saying, "I think so," when you said
that really doesn't. That really contradicts my statement.
The two names you named, we both gave unwarranted.
You know who the coaching candidates are in the NFL. Who's Baltimore's OC?
Harbaugh? No.
That's a bad example. You know who Robert Saleh is.
Yeah.
The Niners DC, okay? You know these people.
I think that's just because football coaches get more press, though.
Yeah, they do.
So
even in basketball, we knew who Monty Williams was.
Mm.
We know who obviously Ty Lue is, and who's another hot, sexy name out there?
Soon to be Dwayne Casey. No, I'm just kidding.
He said it, not me.
I was just kidding.
Even Steve Nash. We know who Steve Nash is.
Duh.
Well,
It's like saying fucking Cabrera becomes manager in 3 years. We know who Miguel Cabrera is. Come on now.
well, still, my point is there are more bigger names in basketball and football than baseball.
Yeah.
Like baseball.
That's just by nature of the sport.
Baseball. Dave Roberts he's famous.
It's like saying,
he's famous for having a slide in the 2004 postseason with Boston. He stole a base, and people know him for that. And now he's like a really good manager.
Yeah, see, like it's just nature of the sport. Like, do you know a bunch of assistant coaches in hockey?
I can't tell you one coach in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, exactly. See, I mean,
I can't name
nature
one.
of the sport. You can't even name half the players, probably. I mean, maybe you can, but most people.
Not really.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just popularity of the sport. If you don't know the players, you're not going to know the coaches.
Mm-hmm. That's baseball for you. But it'll be interesting to see what the Tigers do, though. Morosi also reported on Sunday that the Tigers are going to take their time, which they should. This is a massive hire. You can't get this wrong. Okay, so take your time. Interview anybody and everybody that you want.
Honestly, it probably helps that Gardenhire retired like a week early so that they can get even a week head start into it.
Well, yes and no. They won't be able to interview half these guys until the postseason's over anyway, because, Yankees are going to go far. Dodgers will probably win the World Series, let alone get far.
So they don't have the same, interview process that, football did. Like, I know when...
No, especially for A.J. Hinch, we have to wait until after the World Series to interview him. He's suspended for the year. I know. That's a harsh punishment. You're out for the year.
Oh, and all the players involved, they can stay perfectly squeaky clean the rest of the season. No balls hit their way.
Oh, you know what? Houston, they're struggling this year. They're not going to make it out of the wild card, so...
You know why? Because they can't get on base because no one's willing to throw to them.
That's their punishment. They blow now. Jose Altuve looks like such a fraud, by the way.
Oh,
He's playing so bad.
Who would have thought that a guy that's like our size wouldn't have that much power in a real life situation?
It's funny what happens, Troy, when you don't know what the pitch is.
Yeah. I always knew that was those numbers were so fake just because of I've never seen a guy that small hit for that much power before.
It was interesting.
it
was interesting to see him.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? He's hitting 30 home runs and he's 5'7".
It was interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, screw the Astros. Except AJ Hinch. He knew, but it's my future manager right there.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. All right.
You want to go quickly into NBA or?
I was actually going to mention college football being back really quickly.
Oh.
2 seconds. 2 seconds real quick. Do you care that the Big Ten's back?
No.
Me neither.
No. I mean, especially you being a Michigan State fan, what chance do you even have of having a successful season? The coach hasn't got a chance to talk to his players yet.
None. They're going to be bad this year, and I don't care. As long as Mark's not there, I'm fine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, has there been a single practice at MSU? I don't even know.
Yeah, there have been practices, but he hasn't had a full off season, obviously.
No.
Thanks, Mark. It's not even just the fact that Michigan State's gonna be bad. Like I've mentioned this to you off the air before. College football just doesn't have that same vibe to it right now.
No,
it
not at
doesn't.
all.
I don't know why.
You got like South Montana State playing like Alabama, or not even Alabama. It's like Southern Alabama Tech.
I think Clemson played the Citadel on last Saturday.
And that's your Saturday night football.
Well, Saturday Night Football was Miami-Louisville, but even then, it's like,
This would be more fun if it was a basketball game. That's what most of these games are. It's like, oh, we got Kentucky playing tonight. It's like, come on now. Would you look at a college basketball list and go, all right, let's just make these games into football games?
People were freaking out during week 0 about, I think, Austin Peay playing. And I'm like, exactly. I'm like, oh boy. Like, did we really miss college football that much? But no, I don't know. I don't know what it is with me, Troy. It just doesn't have that same vibe to it right now. I don't know if it's because of no fans or limited fans or what, but it just doesn't have that same vibe right now.
No, not at all. Oh, we got an appearance from the Brandon.
Brendan's here.
The man, the myth.
The legend. There we go. So yeah, I literally just wanted to quickly 2-second mention college football right there.
And you know what the difference is? For better or worse, it was the whole Big Ten sitting out for 3 weeks. Like, if everything would have started on time and according to plan, we would be a lot more excited. The way we are excited for the NFL. Everything started on time according to plan. But obviously with, COVID getting in the way of everything, most states just didn't want to go. And that put a halter to anything. I don't know why they wouldn't just immediately start with in-conference battles. Like,
I don't understand any of these conferences, man.
I would love to see a bunch of SEC teams playing each other from the very get-go.
I think they are. I think it's just
from the beginning.
I think so.
And why aren't you having those on Saturday night? Why am I watching
their season's
two
not.
tech
I
teams?
don't think their season starts until this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Again, shows you how much I'm paying attention to college football.
Yeah, exactly. This is news to me. I thought they'd already begun. And
yeah,
I was like, why am I listening to all these Division II teams playing all day?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel.
My Saturdays have been free and wide open. That's all I can say.
Free and wide open.
Yeah. No college football to be seen.
Well, are you watching the NBA playoffs, though?
Oh, yeah. If that's on a Saturday, I'll stop what I'm doing.
You want to talk about that very quickly before we wrap this one up?
Sure. You want to talk about how the Clippers are exactly as phony as I thought they were?
Oh, man. It put a smile to my face seeing the Clippers get bounced.
Do you agree with me now that Doc Rivers is overrated?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's still a very good head coach, but 6-8 game 7s.
I don't think he's a top 5 head coach in the NBA.
No.
He's
top 10, not top 5.
Top 10 only.
Who's your top 5? So you put in no order.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I have Kerr. I have Brad Stevens. I put Eric Spoelstra up there.
Those are the 3 I was thinking. Pop.
Who's 5th?
Probably Carlisle, maybe, I would say.
I don't know.
Oh, personally, I think Carlisle. If not Carlisle, who?
It's a thinker. Tom Thibodeau.
Billy Donovan, even though he just got fired.
No, I don't think he's top 5. Maybe Doc is top 5. I can't think of anyone.
I think we're just brain farting.
Unless I'm forgetting somebody obvious.
I think we're just brain farting at the moment, though.
I'm going around the league trying to think. I can't think of who would be in the top 5. People watching home probably scream at somebody. We just can't.
D'Antoni.
No.
Yeah, that's why I was shrugging when I said it.
Maybe Doc is top 5, but
Only by technicality.
no. Doc is he should not have gotten considered to be fired, but that's rough. That is
rough.
really, really rough. It's also rough for Paul George to say that it wasn't championship or bust this year. That's insane.
I love the news story coming out Sunday about Paul George trying to rally the team post game and everybody just rolling their eyes.
I was about to say, did you see the other part of that report when the Sham said that there was eye rolling?
Everybody's like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
This is the Clippers showed you that this is why I never bought into them. Like, they just, how are you together for almost a year and you don't have your chemistry?
Don't have any
Good.
chemistry.
How? How? How do you have that loaded of a team and not have any chemistry?
And that good of a coach to bring them all together.
Clippers are frauds, man.
Yeah.
I hate the Clippers.
From top to bottom.
Has nothing to do with me being a Bron stan. Like, I just can't stand the Clippers, man. They have too many.
I don't agree with the Kawhi slander, though. I don't agree with the Kawhi slander. I think Kawhi
he played terrible in Game 7, though.
He did play terrible.
Wait, what's the Kawhi slander?
The fact that he's not a top player in the league. He doesn't rival LeBron.
He doesn't. He does not rival LeBron. No way. I never believed that talk that he was better than LeBron. No way.
I don't think he's better than LeBron, but I thought he can compete with LeBron.
I never believed it. Never believed it. I never once looked at Kawhi Leonard and said he's like one of the best. He's obviously one of the best players in the NBA, but I never thought he was like LeBron level. No way. I just never thought that.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's not good. He's a top player in the NBA.
I'm not saying I'm like on the same level as Skip Bayless. I still think like LeBron is the best player.
Yeah.
But I think Kawhi was a close second. That's where I was thinking. And
Kawhi is one of the best players in the NBA.
He had a bad game when you can't have a bad game. It's pretty hard to argue. But I think up to that point, he was the only reason the Clippers were still in the playoffs.
Kawhi is one of the best players in the world. He's not the best player. I don't think he's in the conversation as the best player. That's what I'm trying to say.
Kawhi was basically in charge because Paul George played like garbage for the entirety.
Pandemic P.
Yeah, Pandemic P.
That's a horrible nickname.
I mean,
oh my god.
it's I kind of draw comparisons to LeBron's 2018 Cavs season. The year that he didn't have anybody like that was any good playing with him. And he did make the finals, but it was in an East where all LeBron had to do was
get past Boston.
Yeah. And, you know, the Boston at that point is the equivalent of any team in the West.
They were so young back then. Yeah.
It wasn't much. So it really wasn't that hard of a road for him to get to the finals. If this Clippers team had been in the East in 2018, you know, they make it.
But it's 2020.
Yeah, but
and
he's
the
in the
fact
West.
the fact that this Clippers team is together for as long as they were and they never had chemistry together.
Yeah.
But hey, does it look like I'm complaining? No, I don't like the Clippers. Kawhi's too quiet of a superstar for me. I like my superstars to talk, okay? Kawhi doesn't talk. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that.
I don't care. I think it's funny that he doesn't talk. It's like you got a guy that's this popular, but he's never said a single word.
Dude, have some personality. Have some fun, man. Like, Kawhi is a meme every time he talks.
Yeah,
talk more.
My new favorite clip is him, like, I think, like, walking up to do, like, photo shoots or something with the team, and he's just standing there by himself. He's just like staring into the distance.
Oh my god!
It's like you're not social. There's Paul George right next to you. Give him a high five or a handshake or something. You're just standing there looking off into the distance.
Oh my god! So yeah, Kawhi. I like my superstars to have a little personality. Whatever. If that's who he is, yeah, obviously that's fine. But whatever. Paul George. my God. Like, I feel bad for him because he mentioned in the bubble that he was going
such
through.
a good dude too.
He mentioned in the bubble that he was going through like depression.
Yeah.
But, bro, you need to play. You need to play better, man.
You're there for a job, man. If you don't want to be there for your job, go home.
Like, we wouldn't call you Pandemic P if you just played. If you played better.
You had
Dude,
an option.
Remember Paul George's commercial for Gatorade where it was against the Pistons. He hit the game when he shot. He took the Gatorade. He's like, ball game. He took the sip. Do you remember that commercial?
I think so, yeah.
So this is the power of Twitter. Someone took that commercial, and when he said ball game, it took the sip. They showed the shot where he shot, and it like bounced off the side of the backboard. It was like ball game, doink, and it just hit the side of the backboard. It's just the power of Twitter, man. Like, again, Paul George, I feel bad for him because mental health is real. Like, you gotta take care of yourself.
And he's a great person.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They're all good. Most of them are good people. But, dude, just play better. You gotta play better, man.
Like I said, you had a choice to go there. It was your choice to stay for as long as you could. You could have opted out, even midway through the playoffs if you wanted to. It would have taken a hit, but it would have made you feel better. If you really wanted to go that route, but he decided to stay. And it's like, at that point, you got to play better,
Well, you got to play better regardless.
Yeah, but, if he's taking his mental health into account, it's like, well, you have a choice there. You could go home. You could, make yourself feel better in that way.
And nobody would have hated, no one should hate on anybody for not going to the bubble or leaving the bubble if anyone did.
Yeah. Especially for a mental health reason. It's like, wow, you're going to make him feel even worse about this decision?
Were there any players that didn't go to the bubble because of mental health?
Not that I know of.
I don't know.
Because, I feel like, people that chose not to go to the bubble
it was
just chalk it up to COVID.
It was for health reasons or family. Like Avery Bradley didn't go because of his son. So
yeah, even if it was for mental health, he could still just say COVID and he wouldn't have to explain anything. So
the moral of the story with Paul George, though, like again, I actually felt bad for him. Like I obviously don't like the Clippers, but Paul George isn't one of those reasons. Like again, I felt bad for him when he said that he was dealing with some stuff because I think he said he saw Twitter. I think. Is that why he said?
Probably a combination of that and also like the whole Damian Lillard thing, I would assume. Didn't help matters.
We'll talk about Patrick Beverley in a second here, okay? But again, I feel bad for Paul George because of what he said that he was dealing with, but just that was rough. That was a rough Game 7 and a rough bubble appearance, to say the least.
Oh,
anywho, here's why I really don't like the Clippers.
Real quick, I just remembered. Last week I made a point about Giannis, not want or like saying like if they don't win soon, I'll leave. I looked that up after the episode. I could not find it anywhere.
I told you.
Yeah, I could not find it anywhere. I heard somebody saying it at the time, like around last year at the end of the season, saying like, "Oh, he said it in a press conference," and I brought it up and yeah, I couldn't find it. So maybe he is another Damian Lillard, but who knows?
But going back to the Clippers though, here's really why I don't like the Clippers. Man, they like to talk. I don't like that. Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell
comparing himself to Dennis Rodman.
Oh my God, Marcus Morris, man, those guys.
I like Marcus.
He's a dirty player.
You know what? Being a Piston fan, I like dirty players.
I do too, but Marcus is a different kind of dirty player. What he did to Luka, man, I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit. But the Clippers are just talkers, man. I don't like that. I was happy to see them get bounced. So was NBA Twitter. Were you on Twitter that night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. It was so good.
all the promos about like this is our city. And now they were immediately flipped.
I think it was Snoop Dogg that said, "Man, get that shit out of here. No one cares about the Clippers. This ain't the Clipper City. This will never be this will never be the Clipper City."
Or just like Kawhi with his arms folded in front of a car and his face is replaced with LeBron's. And it says, "LA's our home."
Oh my God, dude, the Clippers got so cocky, man. Oh, it's so good to see them out. Obviously, it would have been nice to see the Battle of LA in the Western Conference Finals, but at the same time, Denver's a fun team.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was a good game. Denver's a fun team. You know, it's not like some boring team that just happened to get lucky. Like Denver, 2 straight series, they were down 3-1. They came back and won against Utah and against the Clippers.
Yeah, and you might not like it. They got 2 superstars on that team. They do. You know, you don't think of it because it's Denver. It's not like the most popular city or popular team in the league, but they have 2 superstars.
They're not the most popular superstars either.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. These are 2
like Joker is without question the best center in the NBA. No one really talks about him that much.
No, they talk about Karl Anthony Towns. They talk about Joel Embiid because those guys are more famous or more. They've been in the league longer and they're on more high profile teams than Denver. I mean, Minnesota,
but yeah, I gotta put air quotes around there.
They make a lot more news
because of Karl.
Yeah,
but
Jokic is
without question the best center in the NBA.
Yeah,
that dude is a point guard at center. I never seen a big man
unless
handle
you
the ball
want to
like
call
him.
Anthony Davis a center, but I don't.
He's a 4/5.
Yeah.
It depends where the Lakers want to play him. Like, if they want to play JaVale McGee at the 5, then obviously he's at the 4. But sometimes the Lakers will get a little sexy, and they put AD at the 5, which they should do that more.
And the more they put him at the 5, you know, then I would say AD is probably the best center in the league.
Yeah, well,
the moment they put him there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But
Jokic is the best natural center.
Yeah, and then Jamal Murray has showed us in the bubble why we should start talking about him more.
Yeah, he's what Damian Lillard would be if Lillard had the Nuggets around him.
Well, Damian Lillard is still a superstar, though.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if the team around him was as successful as the Nuggets, you know, he'd be in the exact same position. Yeah. I feel like those 2 are, like, the same player to an extent. Yeah.
Obviously, Dame is better than Jamal, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say there. But no, the Nuggets, are a fun team, and the Western Conference Finals have been fun so far, man. They have been really, really fun, especially Game 2. Did you watch Game 2?
Of the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah,
I forget which one Game 2
AD's
was.
game winner.
Oh, yeah. No, I was thinking back to the Clippers Nuggets.
No.
Yeah.
That game was back and forth after the Nuggets were down by 16 early in the first half. Just down to the wire. Joker got that little tip in with less than a minute to go. It seemed like the Nuggets were about to win this game. AD hits that shot, yells Kobe. Oh, it was so good. It was so good, man.
I love his post game too. When he talks about, like, you know, I never want to lose in these black jerseys.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Man, the Lakers are just so much fun.
They are.
They are a fun basketball team, man.
They are. Even though the talent significantly drops at a certain point on that
but
team.
even players like Caruso are doing good, though.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest knock against the Lakers coming into the season was the fact that it's LeBron, AD, and a bunch of, like, vets.
Yeah.
But they're good vets. Like, even guys like Markieff Morris and, you know, Dwight Howard. Even they're playing good.
KCP.
Pay KCP, baby. Let me get the mic real close. Pay KCP, baby. I'm sure John's going to love that in post-production.
Have they made any use out of because I'm drawing a blank on if I've seen him out there like too much.
Who?
J.R. Smith.
He plays here and there.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, you know, I feel like they could, you know, that'd be a kind of guy that is a make or break for like a NBA Finals team, as we've seen in the past.
Just the fact that JR is on the team makes me smile. JR's the man.
Makes me a little queasy when it comes down to final game moments.
Got some Hennessy on you?
You gonna hold the ball after some free throws? Maybe dribble it around a little bit.
I saw a meme on Twitter the other day. Yo, who gave Bronny some weed? It's JR making that face like.
There was another tweet about that, about like LeBron talking to to what's his name's kid.
His kid?
No. What's his name? Oh my god,
Who?
I'm drawing a blank. Dion Waiters' son.
Oh no.
Dion Waiters brought his kid to the bubble, and LeBron was like talking to him during a shoot around, and it's like, look, LeBron already traded his kid with Dion.
We're trading you for JR.
We're trading you for JR and Dion Waiters' son. Sorry, Bronny.
Oh man. But we talked about it last week. The NBA playoffs have been so good, and they're still obviously really good right now. Over in the East, really quickly, obviously at the time of recording this, the Heat are up 2-1 on Boston. Go Heat, man.
Yeah.
Go Heat, baby. That's another fun basketball
team. That is a very fun basketball team. I like the Celtics too, though. I
like all 4 teams that are still left standing.
Yeah. I don't
have any gripes with any of them except the fact that Boston is Boston.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it wouldn't make the same kind of noise that an LA-Boston matchup would, but if it was Denver-Miami, I would still very much enjoy it.
But at the same time, I need the Lakers in the finals. I need the Lakers to win this title, man.
It would be
I need LeBron to get
nice.
that 4th ring, man. I need at least 4 for him.
But man, Lakers fans are going to be so loud this offseason.
I don't care, man. They deserve it. This year has just been too much. I think the entire basketball world would be fine with the Lakers winning, honestly.
Yeah. Just for Kobe alone.
Not even just Kobe. Like, I just feel like it would be a good story, honestly.
I think that'd be a better story than like Miami winning.
I mean, gives me hope for the Pistons.
If Miami won, that's like something you make a movie on. That's like a sports movie by the book right there.
I don't know. I just think how bad the Lakers were, and I think the NBA community would like to see the Lakers win. Not even just because of Kobe. Like, I just feel like it feels like a lot of people are behind them right now. Maybe it's because of Kobe. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of people are behind them right now. I think people are starting to realize, like, we should probably treat LeBron better. I think people are starting to realize that.
Yeah, like throughout all the trials and tribulations of a bubble postseason, like, he has really survived it all.
Like, he's not like Brady, where he's a cheater and there's a reason to like hate him. Okay, yeah. Like LeBron, why do you need to hate him?
I don't think sports is really good about having the conversation about having somebody that's the best at something.
Why do we need to hate LeBron? I don't know. I don't know why. I think people are starting to come around, though. I think people are becoming 2016 Tony, and they're like, all right, we should start respecting him. I shouldn't say we should start respecting him. I've always respected LeBron. I was just tired of him whooping our ass. We should start appreciating him. That's the right word.
Yeah.
Not respecting. I've always respected LeBron. LeBron? I've always respected Bron. I just...
Here's the only thing I don't respect about LeBron. He hasn't shaved his head yet.
Hey, if he wins a ring this year, I don't care what he does with his hair.
We need bald Bron. We had bald Kobe. We had bald Jordan. We need bald Bron.
He was bald for a second.
We need LeBald.
Look at the camera right now and say LeBald.
We need LeBald.
I think that's a good way to end the show. LeBald. Give me a quick prediction right now, though. East and West. How many games? Who wins?
I think Miami. In 7.
7. I say 6.
Oh, I think Boston's gonna fight their way back.
I think the Heat
game tonight, right?
No, they don't play tonight for some reason. They don't play again until Wednesday.
Okay.
I think Heat win Game 5, Celtics win, and then Heat win to close it out.
Okay.
4-2.
I'm
not going to complain about 7 games, though.
I think Lakers and
Sweep.
5. I'll give the Nuggets 1.
I don't think they win after game 2. I think game 2 is their best shot, and that's a tough one, man.
See, the Lakers, it's still a complaint that they have, a bunch of role players and then LeBron and AD. And when have a bunch of role players,
they're good though.
There can be an off night.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, if you got a team like the Nuggets who are pretty deep versus LeBron and AD one night, they could go the other way.
I don't know. I think the Lakers are they're going to be motivated without the Clippers. Like, they're just going to be like, see those bums? They got knocked out in the second round after they talked all that junk. Let's just finish this now. Let's go. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be hungry. And
but Skip Bayless thinks that the Clippers could beat the Lakers. He's been tweeting it nonstop.
Oh my God, Skip he's a difference.
He was like, "Oh, why are the Nuggets and the Clippers could have so easily beaten the Lakers? It's like they couldn't even beat the Nuggets."
During game 1, during game 1 of the West Finals, I remember Skip said that Clippers would be up by 30 right now, and I quoted the tweet with the Patrick Star picture where he's just like, "Oh my God." All right, Troy, this is a good show.
It was a good show.
Very good show. Our socially distant elbow bump there.
Yep.
I don't want to give you COVID if we do a fist bump.
You make cooties.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Aggressively Speaking. For Troy Frank, my name's Tony Dabrowski. We'll see you guys next week when the Lions are 0-3.
Oh my! Go Cardinals.
Oh my God.